down on the Mornington Peninsula today at Cape Schanck, and we are going to be testing out the Google Pixel 7a. So we're going to take some photos with this phone and video, and we're going to compare it to the Google Pixel 7 Pro and also the Google Pixel 6a. That blue is stunning of the water on here. It saturates it a lot, but it actually looks so pretty. So we're currently sitting at 57% on the battery of the Google Pixel 7a. I have it on 90 Hz refresh rate, and I do access social media quite often throughout the day. So it'll be really interesting to check out the battery health later on today, but I thought I'd do a quick little check-in, and yeah, we're nearly at halfway. So what I'm going to do a video of us going down the stairs, and I'm going to test out, oh hello, stabilization on the Google Pixel 7a. So it's cutting out a little bit at the moment and freezing. I think we're overworking it a little bit. I think this is a good point to show because we are using it a lot, and the fact, oh, yep, cool. It's freezing and doing weird things. It's important to show that. All right, so we're going to test out the stabilization on the camera. For active stabilization, which is probably the best for this walk, we do have to have it at full HD, so the quality might not be as great on playback, but we will test out the stabilization. So when you switch to active, it does automatically change the quality to full HD. So I'm just gonna run the 7 Pro at the same time, both active stabilization. I am obviously holding these as well. There is no camera rig for these phones. This is just straight out of the hand. So I'm going to do some 4K 60 recording. It does just have the standard stabilization on there, so let's test that out. So we're down at the base of the beach now. I'm going to go take some photos. I'll get some portrait, I'll get some normal camera shots. We'll see the super res zoom as well and see how far we can get to maybe like the big rock over there. This is such a nice location to go do some recording. We're just gonna walk around the rocks for a little bit and basically just enjoy the scenery because the water down here is stunning. The rocks and the caves, like behind me, there is a cave here and it is gorgeous. So Jack's run off to go do some exploring all the way over there somewhere. Oh, he's gone. So I've been using the Pixel 7a for the last week or so now, and I have actually been loving it. The one thing I am noticing, like I mentioned before, is the battery life is draining quite quickly, but I do have it up all the way on brightness and refresh rate, and I kind of am on my phone 24/7. As time goes on, I will check in probably over a couple months with usage to let you guys know how it is performing, but so far the Google Tensor chip is working really well, and I'm finding that it's very easy for productivity, so everyday use and accessing emails, documents, all that stuff that I'm doing, it is working a lot better than what my iPhone is. Now, I haven't updated my iPhone since I got my 12 Pro, so that's what I've been running for a few years. So this is still miles ahead of that phone, but just from an everyday use and being a companion for, like I always come back to the word productivity, like it really is the best for that, and I am enjoying my experience with it so far. But also, can we just like take in this light? This is stunning. Look at the light on my hair. So last time we checked in, the phone was at 57%. After all that video and photography we've been doing, it's at 41%. That is a major drop. So I am actually quite shocked with the performance of the battery of this, because yesterday I was working my in real life job and I was using my phone, but not like I do when I'm home and I'm scrolling and whatever. My phone did drop to about 15%. It was before the shift finished. It was around 8 o'clock at night and I started at 12:15. I did use it in the morning before I went to work, but I didn't think of charging it. I thought it would be okay. So yeah, the adaptive battery, this is not very adaptive in my experience so far. But in saying that, I never really had my 7 Pro or even my 6A on the higher refresh rate. The 6A was 60 Hertz, but I didn't use 120 on the 7 Pro. Good point made by Jack behind the camera. It is only a couple days of usage, so hopefully it does learn how I use my phone over time. But so far it's, yeah, I mean, I need to have my portable charger with me. All right, so we're back in the studio after a day out with the Pixel 7a, so let's talk about it. I love using this camera on this phone. I feel like it does a really nice job of saturating a photo just the way I like it, without being too saturated. Colors do seem to pop, and when you zoom in a photo, you can still see the detail in the image, which shows me that it's still taking high-res photos, even though it isn't really a higher-end mobile phone. I love the way the 4K 60 video looked. It was so crisp and clear, and it was a stark difference from the full HD video. Now, the reason why I filmed in full HD was so we could see the active stabilization, but I do think that 4K 60 with standard stabilization was still just as good. I expected it to be a little bit more wobbly and unstable, but it was quite balanced. I think for a standard stabilization mode, it's actually pretty good. So I would, from now on, still record in 4K 60, knowing that it would look like that. So I got a little bit sad with the phone when it started to freeze and malfunction a little bit. I did think that the Google Tensor G2 chip would do a better job of stopping that from happening, because in the past I have had issues with Pixels where they do freeze and apps won't close, or they'll shut down after like 5 seconds of freezing and do all sorts of crazy things. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I only noticed it when we were using the camera, and we were using the camera quite a lot, but I don't think it was enough to have that happen. So it's something that I will definitely keep an eye out for over my months of using the phone. It did get a little bit warm in my hand, but it wasn't too hot to the point where it felt dangerous or felt like a problem. But yeah, that was a really interesting takeaway. Battery life is still something I need to work out over time. So I did think it would work a little bit better than what it is at the moment, even though yes, it is adaptive and it will take time to learn how I use the phone, but I still expect it to be slightly better. I am taking into consideration, I do have the refresh rate set to 90 Hertz. I do have my brightness up all the way, pretty much all the time except at nighttime. And I am always on my phone. I've always got some kind of social media app going and I'm always on there, as well as always texting and doing emails. So yes, I do use the phone quite a lot, but I didn't expect not to get a full day's battery life out of it. It's nice and cold today, so I've got my tea. And what we're going to do now is actually a live demo of the Magic Eraser tool. So I did take some photos down at Cape Shake that had some people in there. There's one photo that I want to work on. This is a stunning photo, but there are 2 kids on the rocks and there is 1 adult off to the left as well. So let's pull this up and give it a crack. Okay, so the photo that we're working with is this. But basically, we want to open up the Magic Eraser tool. So we go to Tools, Magic Eraser. Now the phone automatically detects some things that you want to remove. So it has circled the 3 people in there. And basically all I need to do is tap on them and they will disappear. Just like that, like they were never there. And it's really interesting because the phone does do a pretty decent job of correcting the image to what would potentially be there if that object wasn't in the way. But because I do know what I've taken out, I can see the blur all around. Oh, there we go. If I hold that down, you can see where it has removed the kids, which is kind of funny. But I do think it has done a pretty decent job of removing them, although there is a little bit of the shoe here that you can see just on the bottom. But overall, it looks pretty good. When you zoom out, I mean, you're not really looking at that section of the photo. My eyes straight away go towards the beautiful blue water. So it's a pretty good photo to work on, considering that these people were in probably not the main spots of the image. And if we go back down to the left here and see where this person was sitting, it has done, again, a pretty good job of making the rest of the rock. It's a little bit blurry. It definitely looks like something was there, as there's quite a few lumps around here with the rock, but I do think overall it's done a very good job. So now if I flick between the two images, this is the photo we worked on, and this here is the photo with the people. If I am traveling with the phone and taking photos of scenery or just out in public, I feel like I would use that tool, and I think it is a really good selling point of this phone. It's something that clearly works pretty well. So overall, I'm really happy with the Pixel 7a. I am using it as my daily phone, and I think I will continue to for a little while. It's nice and small and it fits in my pocket. It fits in my hand quite well too, compared to my 7 Pro, which I do think it's probably a little bit too big for me, but it's just so convenient and I am really enjoying it. I do look forward to seeing how its performance goes over time, so I do think you should subscribe to this channel for a future video, because we're probably going to do another check-in within the next few months to see how it has been going for me, and if I have any other thoughts and opinions that I want to put out there. So hit that sub button, but for now, I will see you next time. Bye.